The best food that I've ever had?
Best food I ever ate?
Best food I ever had?
The best food I ever ate.
The best food I ever had.
The best food I've ever had.
Can I make it or does someone else have to make it?
Something you have to think about before you say something. Well, I can say a bunch of food that was really good.
Probably Count Chocula, the greatest cereal ever, because it's delicious, and now you can only buy it around Halloween, but it's delicious. I buy tons. As soon as the holidays come around, I fill my closets. I'm not even kidding, you should see how many boxes I have in my room of Count Chocula. I stock that stuff up. I could honestly make a Count Chocula armor set out of the boxes, and wear it to school, and everyone would make fun of me, but it'd still be cool. So I love Count Chocula. Delicious. On the back of the things, you get the little signs that say stay out or silly Halloween things all over my door. And I'm not even making that up. And Frankenberry and Blueberry, not very good unless you mix them together in one bowl. Then they're delicious, but regular, just Frankenberry or just Blueberry, horrible. You gotta mix them. If you mix them with Chocula, then it's just weird because it's chocolate and the berries. But it's pretty much the greatest food ever invented. Next to tacos at Taco Bell or frozen pizzas. That's pretty much all I eat. Hot Pockets and Bagel Bites. Bagel Bites is that's a poor man's delicacy.
I actually ate it today. It is a cupcake purchased by Mr. Beals from the video production and broadcasting show class. And he bought it for me because I've been doing well. And I'm gonna take a bite right now and then I'll describe every single part of this cupcake that I like. The frosting, it's so fluffy, and it's just it melts in your mouth. And then with the sprinkle combination, it's crunchy and sugary. It's a nice contrast to the fluffiness. And then the actual cupcake itself, it's just so doughy and spongy. It's spongy, it almost absorbs all of the frosting and the sprinkles into this one little cupcake mixture in your mouth, and it's in your mouth, and it tastes so good that it almost tastes so good that your mouth can't handle it and you have to swallow it right away. And then you're ruining it. So you have to be careful not to just do that because you want to enjoy this beautiful piece of cupcake. And I feel like I have frosting on my lip, but it is just, look at those little sprinkles, adorable pink frosting. Who doesn't like that? And yeah, I'd say go down to Crosby Bakery and get one of these little puppies. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Uh-oh. I think I'm dumb. Take them away.
So the best food, one, Fruity Pebbles. You pick up the box of Fruity Pebbles. First you see the Flintstones characters on it, and you just go, wow, this is going to be great cereal because the Flintstones is a great cartoon. Then you just pour it out, and it just keeps on coming out. And you don't know how much to put in there because it's just all Fruity Pebbles. It's not like Cheerios where it takes up space. All that, it's just these small pieces of, I don't know what kind of material, that is just sweet and succulent. And it just goes into the bowl, and it just fills up the whole entire bowl. And you're like, do I put milk? And then you pour milk and it just all floats to the top and you eat it. It's like eating shards of pebbles, but it tastes delicious. I would imagine pebbles would taste terrible and hurt your teeth. These, it's just wake up in the morning, just eat with Fruity Pebbles. And there's so many different colors, but it's not getting Skittles where they all taste different. They all just taste like pure sugar grounded into this pebble-like substance. And made the Flintstones sponsor them.
The best food I've ever had is my homemade Crunchwrap Supremes that are about this wide and about this thick. filled of meat and cheese and hard shells and meat and other stuff. And I took the idea from Taco Bell and mine tastes better. But now I'm thinking maybe I should put calamari in it because I love calamari and calamari fetuses. I'm gonna get the squid pregnant and then eat her babies and then eat her. Like what's it called? A black spider widow. I'm gonna be that, but for squids, I'm gonna eat all the squids. Okay, I'm done talking.
Let's see, another food. I would have to say lobster, because when you have a whole lobster, first of all, lobster meat's delicious. But you get the whole lobster, and there's an effort. You have to crack like the claws off, and then like dig out the meat out of the claws, and then dip them in that hot warm butter, and then you put it in your mouth. And if it's good lobster, just like melts in your mouth, and you just go, oh, that was good lobster. And then when you're done, you just have an empty shell, and that's like your trophy. You just ate the whole lobster. And afterwards, you're just like, that was like $30 well spent. Hopefully your parents paid for it, but still, lobster is expensive. But then so many things can be done with lobster. Like I've had lobster ravioli, and that was delicious, and it looked like a red sauce, and it was creamy. There's also like lobster tail, but then you think to yourself, what happened to the rest of the lobster? And then you go, oh, lobster ravioli, that makes sense. And they're both delicious with butter, warm butter.
I would definitely have to say Frederick's cakes. They're really good. Just like taking a full cake, like their frosting, I don't know what it is. Like if I could just get the Frederick's cake recipe, I would quit school and just stay in the kitchen making this cake. Like, this cake is so good. Just taking like a full cake and just shoving it in my face. Oh. And then after I'm all like hyper, like I'm running around and like talking really fast and stuff, and it's just like, and then I'm just like, oh. It's one of those like sugar high things, and then I just come down from it, and it's like, oh my god, what just happened? I don't really remember it actually. It's great though, it's really good. Tastes really good. It's in like Amherst or something, I don't know where it is, but you just take a slice, like you need like the smallest slice ever, because you'll just like go into a sugar coma if you don't. Like if you take a piece like this big, like a normal piece of cake, it's just not a normal cake.
Well, I mean, I love chocolate. That's always good whenever I have it. Macaroni and cheese too. But the coolest food I ever had is when I go to Tokyo, like I did last night. It's this Japanese restaurant down by like Daniel Webster Highway. And so what they do is they cook in front of you, and it's so cool, and they do all these tricks with their knives and whatnot, and they light stuff on fire. And I went last night, and yesterday it was like on fire for a really long time, and it was really weird. And like they add new stuff too, because they did stuff last night that I hadn't seen before, because I haven't been in a while and stuff. And they have good food too. I really like it. And so it's just really cool. They do a little volcano with the onions, and they separate them and they stack them up in a volcano, and they pour the stuff in and light a match and light it, and it smokes up. And then this time they put the vegetables in a ring around it, and it was cool. And so like everything lit on fire and whatnot. It was really cool. And so that's the coolest food I ever had, and I guess it's some of the best food I ever had too.
One time when I was in Memphis, Tennessee, there was this restaurant called The Rendezvous. And this was supposed to be the best place for ribs and barbecue stuff. So, waited in line for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. All these people outside, sat in the bar for a little bit, and watched the college bowl games that were going on. Then got inside, had the ribs, were delicious. And then me and I said, oh, I'm still hungry, because all we got was ribs. And my dad's like, yeah, we can get something else. I'm like, I saw these barbecue pulled pork nachos walking by. They look like nachos. The nachos looked like anything you get from a movie theater. But then, the pulled pork, and there's like this queso cheese. It was so good. I ate those with my dad and my brother. We ate a bunch of those, and I'm like, oh, that was so good. And then I said those words, can we get another? So guess what? After our whole meal, for dessert, we had another thing, barbecue pulled pork nachos. And like I tried to make them myself at home. They were good, but they weren't as good. It was just like the pork perfectly barbecued. It was so delicious. I love my nachos. Like I go to Chunky's, I get high noon nachos when I go see a movie. And those are good. They're above average. But then these pulled pork nachos were like right up. It's like above the boom. That's how good they were. And that was probably the best nachos I've ever had.
The best food that I ever had was the pizza I had at Uno's yesterday on my birthday. It had roasted red peppers, green peppers, and onions, and just the right amount of cheese. Let's see. And I also had the deep cookie dish with ice cream on it, and I got sick, but it was the best thing I ever had. I like penne rigate, except without the capers. Penne rigate is when you have penne noodles that are like this, and they're not like spaghetti, but they're penne, and you have green peppers, sauce. I kind of altered the recipe a little bit, and you have onions, and then I chopped up chicken and threw chicken in there, and put a load of cheese in there, and took out the capers because the capers are gross. Capers is weird. Sounds weird. There has to be more food. I love food. Chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie has chicken in it. Vegetables with a bunch of, what's it called? It's not gravy. If you drank gravy, that's kind of gross. What is it? Chicken broth. I think it's chicken broth or something like that. That's yummy. And the crust is the best. Milky Ways, melted Milky Ways are great, because at one time I was on the road home from New York with Becca, and we went into the back seat, and I guess the sun had been beating down on the Milky Ways, and we take the Milky Ways out, and they're mushy as can be, and we opened them, and they were quite delicious, actually. They were fun to eat, but really messy, but it was the best thing I ever ate.
So bright. So bright.
I didn't feel like it. I'm like CC's pizza buffet. Not as good. Not as good. Oh, that's what that means?
Coil.
The best food that I ever had. Ho ho ho, ho 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 ho.